If Tavares returns, I am very curious to see what that looks like. If they sign him to a deal, whatever it is, 3-year deal, 4-year deal, what's that dollar amount? And who has to explain it? John or Tree Living? I would suggest both. I would suggest both. But let's say it's $7 million on a 3-year deal.
$7 million?
I'm sure that's what he's asking for.
Be two.
I'm sure that's what he's asking for. He might be asking for more.
I think here's the thing. Do you not think that if John Tavares wants to stay, it's going to have to be definitely a hometown discount? But can't you do it July 10th? Like why?
Yeah, but he's probably saying, I got to get my life sorted out here. You think I'm going to sit around and wait? And what if they give him the hard one and just on July 10th they're like,
that ain't happening. There's no way Tavares and his camp will let that happen. I mean,
no, that's why he wants an answer. He wants to figure something out.
But and he has the right
allow him to.
Of course.
Yes. You can allow him to go to market and say, yeah, you know what, this team's going to give me 8. We say, congratulations, take the 8. And you go and you look at other players. You like that's the biggest thing. Unless you absolutely want him as your third line center for next season, that can kiss up into the second line center, all of that type of stuff, or play wing. Like
who's playing second line though? If it's not John Tavares, like that's the question.
Well, this is where you got to get creative.
Totally.
This is where you're talking about trades. It's not about signings. It's about trades. It's about finding players within the league that need to change the scenery. We were just talking about how everybody's open for business. Everybody wants to. You don't think Brad Tree Living's working the phones right now? And there's
obvious.
Lots of
I'm sure he is. But again, if you're saying Tavares is your third line center, then you can't even pay him $5 million a year, in my opinion. Like if you have him penciled as your third line center, you got to have. What does Lundell make? 4.5. You can't pay a guy $6-7 million to be on your third line.
If he is your third line centerman, why would you want to pay him $7 million? Like that's when those numbers come. Like I just don't understand why Patrice Bergeron was at the end of the line and he signs for $2.5 million, and all these I have the comments coming my way in public where it's like, yeah, just 3 years at $9 million makes sense to me, and I'm like, you guys are all
I know
insane.
It's crazy talk.
Dude,
and that's not going to happen. I mean, the Leafs. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, the Leafs have a history.
If I ran the Leafs, it would be very simple. We just gave you $80 million. You're going to do us a favor on this one, or we're not doing it. Sorry. There's no 7. There's no 6. There's nothing. None of that talk is happening here. If you want to come back and you really want to stay here and that's your only objective, you are doing us a serious favor. That's the only way and the only terms that this deal is happening. Mm-hmm. Take it or leave it. Go and find a place to play because it won't be here.
Yep. I totally agree with that. I see it the exact same way you do, but that doesn't mean Tree Living does, and it doesn't mean Tavares does. And that's what we're going to find out in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But
good player, guys. Scores a lot of points. Scored 38 goals last year for the $80 million, and he was a part of it. They won 2 playoff series. So why would there be such a need to bring the player back? Like, are people insane? They never won. Why do you have to bring anyone back? Get different players. Try it. What the hell is it? What's worse that can happen?
Yeah.
I'm so sick of talking. People are so
and
dumb.
Go out there and find pieces, man. And it might take more than a year. People don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. It may take a couple of years to fill out your roster appropriately. And I would say the idea that this, you have to do it for Matthew. You don't owe Austin Matthews anything anymore. He owes you something.
Yes.
And William Nylander owes you something. You paid them a fortune, and they didn't show up when you needed them. You don't owe them anything in their window to win. If it takes you a year or two, so be it. And put even more pressure on them to make sure that it doesn't have to be that much of a timeline. Go out there and pull your weight and find a way to help this team win.